Blasted into right center field. Hit it, Todd. This baby is way back. Out of here.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back
to the Humm Baby Baseball channel.
This is Eric, and today we're talking about the Giants and their draft picks yesterday. It was only a 5-round draft, not the normal 7,362,415 rounds. We only went 5 this time. So the Giants did get some players, but they didn't get as many as you normally would think. However, that's cool for this video because we could actually talk about all of them. Normally there's no way I could talk about every single draft pick, but today I can because they only got a handful of guys and some good looking pitchers, some good arms, some good position players. I already did my video on Patrick Bailey, so you can check that out. That's the previous video on my channel. But today we're going to talk about the rest of the guys. Starting at the second round, the Giants picked up a third baseman who can also pitch, and this guy looks pretty good. His name is Schmitt. 21 years old, 6'2", 200 pounds. This guy's ranked number 71 on ESPN, 87 on Fangraphs. And one scouting report says above average raw power, defense at third, and arm strength. Up to 96 miles an hour on the mound with an average splitter and fringy slider. He received second All-Mountain West recognition after finishing second on the team with a .315 average, 5 bombs, 36 RBIs, and also topped the squad with a .415 on-base percentage. And that's to go along with his 21 appearances with 4 starts as a pitcher with a 3.77 ERA and a team-high 8 saves. Probably more likely to be a position player for the Giants, but at least he has that ability right there. You know, if it could convert him to a pitcher or whatever. Maybe he'll be a two-way guy, but definitely looks more likely to be a hitter and a guy who's going to go out there and hopefully develop into a guy with some pop and a guy who can play some third, maybe some first. You never know. Could be somebody, though.
Schmitt, he looks pretty good. I like this pick.
And in 2011, the Giants also had the 49th pick, and they got Kyle Crick, and he ended up being a pretty damn solid prospect. Goes to the Pirates as part of the McCutchen deal, and he's been a regular in their bullpen for the past 2 seasons. So you never know. At 49, you can get really good players. Some other guys who've been in a Giants uniform who were picked at 49 include Rene Rivera, Xavier Nady, and even Carlos Beltran. But coming up next, the Giants had the 67th overall pick, and they picked up Nick Swiney. I hope I'm saying that right. He is Patrick Bailey's teammate, left-handed pitcher, collegiate baseball second-team All-American, and he went 4-0 in 4 starts. That's about as good as you can do in 4 starts. He allowed just 4 earned runs in 28 innings for a 1.29 ERA. This guy's stats are off the charts. He struck out 15 guys in one game against Purdue on February 29th, held opponents to a 144 batting average. This guy actually seems like he should go higher. He looks like a first rounder when you just look at his numbers. Now, scouts might be worried because he doesn't have a dominating fastball. His fastball's in the low 90s. His walk rate was a little up. He has gotten better at that. So, you know, scout-wise, he's kind of, you know, obviously he wasn't a first-round guy. In fact, they said he was taken a little higher than expected. But statistically, he dominates. What else can you ask for except for that? So I'm real excited about this guy. He looks like exactly the kind of guy we'd like. And what the cool thing is, the Giants didn't have to get a pitcher until the 3rd pick, and they still got a really solid-looking arm. Other notables taken at 67 in the past include Chad Qualls, Kurt Suzuki, and Jordan Zimmerman. And then, after 67 comes 68, Giants got another pick. These 2 picks the Giants got because they lost Will Smith and they lost Madison Bumgarner. So these are those second-round compensation picks. And already, looks like they've used one of them wisely. What about the next one? The Giants pick up Jimmy Glowenke. This guy's 21 years old, 5'10", 170. And this could be an underslot guy. You know, money is an issue too in these drafts because you got to give them their bonuses and whatnot. So the Giants might be looking to save a little cash, and then they can use that later on with some of their later picks, pay them a little more, maybe over slot. So, you know, it's a little technical. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, this is who they got, Jimmy Glowenke. And his scouting report says that his lone better than average tool is his bat as he makes line drive contact with ease. He controls the strike zone well, enhances his on-base ability by getting hit by more than his share of pitches. He can provide some doubles, perhaps 10 to 12 bombs a season at the next level, but he did not drive the ball with wood bats on the Cape. So that's not good, but takes time sometimes to make that transition. Glowenke's below average speed almost certainly will push him to second base in pro ball. He is a sure-handed defender at shortstop, but he lacks the range to stay there. His average arm may be enough to get by at third base in a utility role, though neither it nor his power fits the profile to play regularly at the hot corner. So it's not the brightest of scouting reports, but hey, he can hit, he hits line drives, potentially could become something in the future, could become a nice hitter for the Giants. You never really know. Someone to keep an eye on. Nice pick there at 68, and there's been some good players in the past picked at 68, including John Lackey, Jason Vargas, and the current Giants starter Drew Smiley. So you never know with 68. Up next though, the Giants at 85, with the 85th pick of the 2020 MLB draft, they take Kyle Harrison, local high school pitcher from Concord, California, 18 years old, 6'2", 200 pounds, and MLB scouting reports say Harrison has the chance to be a very solid left-handed starter with a 3-pitch mix and a feel to use all 3 offerings. He's been up to 93 with a fastball, usually around 90, 91, throwing his heater with good life. It's tough to square up coming from a difficult angle thanks to a 3/4 slot. Slider is his out pitch. An upper 70s breaking ball that's especially tough on left-handed hitters. He also has a good feel for a changeup, commands all his pitches well. I'm real happy about the fact that they are finding good-looking pitchers with very impressive scouting reports, good arms. They are finding those guys without having to grab them in the first round. I wanted them to get a pitcher in the first round, but too little too late to hope for that. It's already been done. They did not go for a pitcher, and that's fine. They went for who they thought was the best player, and I'm completely happy about it at this point. After the initial shock wore off, I'm okay with it, and now they're finding some good-looking arms, so hopefully these guys work out. So with the 85th pick, that's who they got. Kyle Harrison, and other guys at 85 in the past include Nick Ahmed, who is a really nice player for the D-backs, and also Zach Britton of the Yankees. And that's interesting because another Zach Britton got taken yesterday as the last pick of the draft. The Blue Jays took Zach Britton, so we might have 2 Zach Brittons soon. Next, at 114, the odds at this point of finding a meaningful big leaguer are getting slimmer and slimmer, but at 114, Chase Darno was taken. But unfortunately, you are more likely to get this guy at 114. Much more likely to get a Perry Berry than a Chase Darno. But they go with a guy named R.J. Dabbavich. He is 21 years old, 6'3", 215. This is what Fangraphs had to say. He made strides this summer on the Cape, up to 95, solid average breaker, and ESPN had to say he has plenty of arm strength. He can run his fastball up to 97, sitting comfortably in 93, 94 range, working on adding more life to it. His breaking ball is hard, 3/4 tilt to it. He'll typically throw it in the low 80s. He will work in a curve on rare occasions, and he has a changeup that he wants to try to incorporate. So at 114, the Giants grab another good-looking pitcher. Potentially could become something. R.J. Dabbavich, and other guys taken at 114 include Jeff Keppinger, Justin Maxwell, and one Jonathan Papelbon. But last but not least, maybe we'll find out with time which of these draft picks work out and which don't. But the Giants, with the 144th pick, they go with Ryan Murphy, a Division II kid out of Moyne College, if I'm saying that right, probably not. 20 years old, 6'1", 185. He did not appear on most of the big boards. He is not a name that I've heard of. Had to do some research on this guy. He made just 4 starts this year, but he does have strikeout stuff, and that's a good sign. This guy has a funky style, struck out 36 guys in 23 innings. Yes, he's not facing, NCAA competition, the top of the line type competition in college, but hey, he's dominating, and you got to face who you got to face. So he looked really good, and I think the Giants were like, let's take a waiver on this guy. Let's try this guy out because he's got nasty stuff. He's got strikeout stuff. Who knows? Giants grab him. We'll see. Some of these guys might not even sign with the Giants. They might decide not to sign, but I'm pretty sure this guy, being a college player, will definitely be signing, and we'll see how he does. So Ryan Murphy with the 144th pick. And the last time the Giants had the 144th pick was in 1994. The Giants go with Bobby Howry, and he ends up having a 13-year big league career. But before that even got going, the Giants traded him before his debut to the White Sox in what was called the White Flag Trade of 1997, when the White Sox gave up Wilson Alvarez, Danny Darwin, and Roberto Hernandez for a bunch of prospects. White Sox fans were pissed off everywhere. However, he did come back to San Francisco a little bit later in his career, but there's some history there with that 144th pick because of that Bobby Howry pick ends up getting traded in that very famous trade you might remember. But that's some history related to the 144th pick. But all in all, can't complain about this draft. The Giants got 4 out of 7 guys were pitchers. In fact, 5 out of 7 if you want to count Casey Schmitt, because he is a two-way player. I think he's going to be more of an offensive player, but still, the Giants grabbed a bunch of pitchers, exactly what I wanted them to do after that initial pick. I thought, okay, that's fine. We need pitching. We need to really stockpile some pitching, and maybe 1, maybe 2 of these pitchers end up being effective major leaguers someday. So I can't wait to find out how these guys turn out. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty satisfied with the draft. Put down below what you guys think. Obviously, there's no telling. And obviously, it needs to be pointed out apparently because I'm getting some not so kind comments in the comment section. I guess I need to point out that obviously I don't know as much as Farhan Zaidi and the scouts that do this full time for the Giants. They know what they're doing at the end of the day. So, we have to trust them and trust the process. I'm happy with the draft, but I'm still going to put out my thoughts. Like, I'm thinking pitcher first round. They didn't go with a pitcher. Hey, they know more than I do. Obviously, I'm just some idiot talking here to my 99-cent microphone. You think that I know crap? Of course not.
Duh.
Just here to entertain, talk baseball as a community. I love the Giants, and I'm happy with this draft. Put down below what you guys think. I hope you have a fantastic day. Also, follow me on Twitter, and you can check out my Patreon page as well if you're interested in helping out the channel. And I got a join button below if you want to do it here on YouTube. Have a great day, and I'm going to talk to you next time. See ya!
When the Giants come to town, it's bye-bye.